I stand on the old cobbles of Nantucket Harbor, where the tide still sketches the long history of men who left on voyages that lasted years, and I can almost smell the rancid, sweet oil that once clouded these streets, a smell that meant money, danger, and the rhythm of a town built on the backs of giants.
Nantucket in the early 19th century was not merely a fishing village, it was the fulcrum of a global industry. By 1820, its captains and owners controlled hundreds of voyages a year, sending ships to the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic, harvesting whale oil that lit cities and lubricated machines in an age before petroleum.
Walk with me through the memory of a whaleman's day, dawn breaking over a glassy sea, a lookout's cry, boats lowered and men slipping into narrow whaleboats with oars and a woven rope of fate. The chase could last hours, sometimes a heartbeat, but there was no rehearsal for the instant the whale banked and the ocean turned savage. The most feared moment was the Nantucket Sleighride, a phrase born from terror. After a harpoon struck, a whale would bolt, dragging the tiny boat at terrifying speeds across the water. Men hung onto the thwart with white-knuckled hands while the sea flogged them. Lines snapped like strings, and the whole pursuit teetered between hunting and being hunted. Imagine being in that boat, every muscle taut, the wake boiling behind you as the whale gouged away. Some were dragged miles, sometimes wrecked against rocks, sometimes flung into air or smashed by the whale's tail. The sleigh ride could end with triumph, the whale exhausted and secured, or with bodies pulled under, and the sound of oars beating the water alone. The gear was simple but lethal. Hand-thrown barbed harpoons, toggles, and long lances for the finishing strokes. Once the harpoon struck home, the crew's survival depended on seamanship and raw courage. The boat steerer and harpooner were the ones who faced the whale eye to eye. Their reputation and the ship's profit rode on their shoulders. When the whale finally lay still, the scene on deck changed from adrenaline to a grim, bloody efficiency. They called it cutting in. Men slid along the whale's flank, slicing strips of blubber as if unwrapping a monstrous gift, each piece slick and heaving in hands seasoned by salt and fear. Cutting in was the precursor to trying out. Ships like those from Nantucket carried tryworks, brick furnaces with large iron pots, right on deck. It seems absurd to us now, fire and oil on the heaving wood of a wooden ship. But keeping oil aboard was dangerous, and trying out blubber into oil made the product storable and the voyage profitable while they still roamed the oceans. I can still see the men's faces lit by the orange glare of the tryworks, steam hissing from the pots as fat melted and clarified. They called the process trying out because they tried the blubber to see what oil it would yield. The fat boiled, the blood separated, and the deck became a theater of steam, sweat, and a smell so intense it lodged itself in the throat. The work stank and scorched and could maim. Sparks from the tryworks could start fires that would consume a ship in minutes. Yet the economics were relentless. Spermaceti oil from sperm whales fetched the highest prices, prized for its clean, bright burn in lamps, and for its properties as a lubricant for precision machinery, crucial in an industrializing world. The hierarchy on board was rigid. Captains kept ledgers and plotted courses. Mates directed the sailors. Harpooneers earned reputations and share in the catch. And beneath them were men who endured privations, scarce food, cramped sleeping spaces, disease, and the psychological strain of being away from land for years, sometimes 2 or 3 at a time.